What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the Knicks Cave. I'm Jan, a Knicks fan, your host, and let's get right into it. But before we do, don't forget to hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Leave a comment. You want to know when the next video going to drop? Hit that notification bell. All right, let's get into it. Do or die Sunday. Playoff implications. Let's get right into it. You look at the bracket and you see that is stacked. The only team that don't have nothing to worry about here is the Boston Celtics. They're sitting pretty. Other than that, every other team will be playing for their final seeding for the Eastern and the Western Conference playoffs. All right, let's jump into a scenario that I know all of y'all gonna get into real quick. Some of y'all might have heard this already, but I'm gonna bring it to you from the Knicks cave and my analysis and my predictions and what I think might happen. And y'all all know, because this is the Knicks cave, I will be rooting for the New York Knicks, but I also will be rooting for some other teams that will come to surprise you. All right, let's get into this. You look at this bracket. This is if the playoffs were to start today. We see that the New York Knicks will be taking on the Indiana Pacers. But like I said, today is do or die Sunday. So that is bound to change by Monday morning. We will see what implications today had and what where the New York Knicks will fall and where the Milwaukee Bucks will fall. Because if the Milwaukee Bucks was to fall to the number 4 seed, in my opinion, that would be a disaster of a season. I know making the playoffs is a achievement of its own, but for how they was playing and where they was seated at before they made the coaching change, karma will take its effect. All right, let's get into this real quick. New York Knicks hoping to get that number 2 seed, but the only way they can get that number 2 seed is the Bucks falling to the Magic. So let's talk about that first game scenario where the Bucks will be meeting the Magic. If the Bucks win this game, it's no secret they will clinch the number 2 seed. But they can also clinch the number 2 seed if if the Hornets and the Bulls will go out and win. So if the Bulls come and beat the Knicks have no chance of getting the number 2 seed. The lowest we can drop is the 4th seed. Some will say in reality that the Knicks will be stuck right in their position that they are in right now and finish the season at number 3. But in my mind, I think the New York Knicks will either get that number 2 seed or drop to the number 4 seed. And I would not be mad if either one would happen. What I know y'all saying, why would you want the Knicks to come to the drop to the number 4 seed? Because I do not want the Knicks to meet the Boston Celtics until we hit the Eastern Conference. Now, if we was to go forward to the number 3 seed or stay at the number 3 seed, we would be on a path to if Eastern Conference. Excuse me, we would be on a path to play the Boston Celtics before we got to the Eastern Conference Finals, or we would have to be playing them to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I don't mind that scenario, but I want to see the Knicks go against Boston in the Eastern Conference Final. I think that's going to be a great series. I think it's going to do a lot for the ratings, the NBA, and for the Knicks in general. I'm tired of walking around and not getting the Knicks not getting the respect they deserve. Even right now, the way they playing, I still get little side shots. I'm being honest. I don't know about the rest of you New York Knicks fans, but I'm still getting it. I'm still getting it. I'm sorry. I'm still getting it, and it's getting upsetting because Knicks is doing their thing, but they're not getting the recognition. Not from the average NBA fan. All right, let's get into the next scenario. Excuse me. Of the Magic. If the Magic was to win this game, that makes them the favorite to clinch the fifth seed. They could still finish at number 6 if the 76ers and the Hawks win their games. If the Magic lose and the Pacers win, Orlando Magic fall to the 7th seed or the 8th seed and will be fighting for a spot in that play-in. If the Hawks was to win, that can push the Magic spot up to a top 6 seed. If the Hawks win, and even if they lose or whatever, if the Hawks get a victory, it would keep the Magic within the top 6, not above 5, but in the top 6. All right, let's move to that Bulls Knicks game. The most common scenario, as I said, is the Knicks to finish at the number 3 seed. They are also guaranteed the number 3 seed if they lose, but if the Magic and the Hornets both win, the Knicks and the Bucks lose, they can jump to the number 2 seed. All right, if they lose, but the Magic and the Cavs win, the Knicks can fall as low as 4th seed. And as I said to you, I wouldn't be upset if we did fall to the 4th seed because the Knicks, I want them to meet the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals. I know that's kind of selfish, but that's as long as they stay 2 to 4, we can fall no lower than 4th seed. So I don't care. As long as we stay out of that 3, I want us out of the 3, and I don't want us in the yeah, we can only fall to 3, and that's the only way we can meet the Boston Celtics before the Eastern Conference. I mean, either way, it should be a good game. The Knicks meeting them in the playoffs. After that game, though, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the Boston Celtics will run some revenge. I know when you look at the score, it was a close game, but when the game was being played, the Knicks actually blew them out. And some would say, well, the Boston Celtics had nothing to play for, so blah, 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 blah. But in my opinion, when you're a player, I don't care basketball, football, baseball, you don't want to get beat that way. You don't want to get beat that way. And I think that they would be looking for some type of revenge, even though they beat us the first 3 games of the season. That last game put a nasty taste in their stars' mouth, and I think they will want a little bit retribution. And to know that they well, our second unit's out there too, so we're not gonna get into that. But let's get into that Bulls games real quick. If the Bulls was a win and they would lock up that number 9 seed, and they would host the number 10 seed, which would be the Hawks in that play-in, and which starts April 17th, y'all. And like I said in my last video, I wasn't for the playing. I wasn't for the in-season tournament, but once it got going, it proved to be very, very, very exciting, very fun. I'm not gonna lie to you. I love both of them. All right. The Nets versus the 76ers. The only way the 76ers can get to that 5th seed, well, their only path is to win and for the Pacers to lose. However, even if the 76ers win, that doesn't guarantee them a seed higher than number 7. Why? Because due to 2 losing scenarios that could see them drop as low as number 8, and that would depends on them losing and I forget, but it don't look good for the 76ers right now, in my opinion. Even though Embiid is back, injured that knee, he came back and he played. I don't think he will finish the playoffs. I think he would he'd be done by this for the season. I ain't gonna lie. I think by the time the playoffs get into full motion, and B will not be playing. He'd be done for the season. That's just my opinion. That game with the Magic, I back up for a second. That's gonna be a tough game for the Bucks because Anatubo is not playing. So I don't know that the Knicks can get that number 2 seed. Let's go over to the the Raptors versus the Heat. The Heat need to win their own games as well. They need help from other opponents, such as the Pacers and the 76ers, to beat their teams, rise above the most likely scenario to finish at number 8. Combination of Magic, Pacers, and the 76ers losses will add up to a higher seed for Miami. If those 3 teams was to lose and the Heat win, they could move all the way to the 5th seed. You know what I'm saying? So I know the Heat fans will be watching the games, what you call the scoreboards, all throughout the day. Like I said, today is do or die Sunday, and teams gonna have to put in that work, or they gonna be some will be in the play-in. We already know who's going home, but you trying to get a seed, trying to get home court advantage. Like I said, do or die Sunday. Now let's get to that Hawks and Pacer game. A Pacer win guarantees them a top 6 seed with a number 5, their best case scenario. If coupled with a Magic loss, so if they win and the Magic lose their season finale, that could monkey things up for the Pacers if the Magic was to win. Actually, for the Pacers who could drop into the playoffs, I know they actually hoping the Magic was to lose. They needed Magic to lose so that they can at least get that 7 seed. It's gonna be hard for them to get up in that top 6 seed for the Pacers. I know the Pacers fan is hoping they're gonna also be watching the scoreboard. But let's jump down to the Hawks. The Hawks are locked into the number 10 seed, and will visit the number 9 seed Bulls in the play-in. So that connect scenario for the Hawks. They just playing, probably just trying to really upset people's seedings. You know how they do. You know what they say. They're just trying to get in where they fit in. And then you got the Hornets and you got the Cavs. And as I said earlier, I will be rooting for the Cavs to win this game. They don't necessarily need to win the game, but the most common scenario for them is to finish at 4. If they win this game and the Bucks and the Knicks both lose, they can actually jump to number 2. If the Knicks win, Cleveland can rise no higher than number 3. That means if the Knicks win and the Bucks lose, they can still go no more than the number 2 seed in the playoffs. So what they would need for the Knicks and the Bucks to lose for them to jump over to the number 2 seed. All right, let's get over to the West Coast. I really don't really talk about the West that much, but like I said, today is Do or Die Sunday, and we will talk about all the teams that will be playing today. And you cannot talk about all the teams if you ain't talking about the West Coast. All right, so let's get into that Nuggets versus Grizzly game. And actually, this is the first time you have three teams that are gonna be actually that's fighting for the number one spot, and that's what's going on in the West. The Nuggets' only chance to secure that number one seed is if they win and the Thunder and the Wolves both lose. The Nuggets are in third and a three-way tiebreaker due to excuse me, their combined head-to-head record against other teams. Denver can finish second with a win, and but not both a loss or Oklahoma City losing. This is the first time, like I said, that three teams all have the same record at 56 and 25, and all have the shot at number one seed in the conference. Going into today, like I said, is do or die Sunday. So they're gonna be watching the scoreboard all across the today's just to see what West Coast teams to see what happened and why they be gonna see what happened. I know they will be watching the Suns and the Timberwolves. And that game, if the Wolves win this game, either the Thunder or the Nuggets lose, they will lock up the number one seed in the West. And if the Suns win this game and the Pelicans lose, they will secure the number 6 seed. But if the Suns are number 7 and the playoff bound, then you have to think about the Lakers and the Pelicans. Now, if the Lakers win this game, they can secure that number 8 seed and they will face either the Suns or the Pelicans in the play-in. However, if they lose this game, they can still secure the number 8 seed if the Kings and the Warriors both was to lose. Otherwise, the Lakers can fall to the number 9 seed, and I don't think LeBron James is about to let that happen, in my opinion. But like I said, other than they can fall to the number 9 seed or the number 10 seed. The Pelicans, they look to stay out of the play-in, and they trying to secure that number 6 seed with a win today. But if they lose, their only remaining shot to lock up the 6 seed is the Timberwolves was the win. And so, like I said, fans are gonna be watching the scoreboard all across the board today because it's do or die Sunday. You heard what I said? It's do or die Sunday. Now the Mavericks, I'm not gonna lie to you, the Mavericks they had a funky season until Deontay, excuse me, until Luca got hot. And they started putting the Mavs on the map. You know, the Mavs, they locked into the 5th seed, and they will face the number 4 Clippers in the first round of the playoffs. So they not really too worried. But when you go over to them with the Thunder, like I said, the Thunder, because they have that three-way tie over the Wolves and the Nuggets, due to that head-to-head win-loss record between them, they can clinch the number 1 seed if all three teams win. Now, if all three teams lose or with one win and a Timberwolves loss, then they're giving the Jazz a chance to move up. But the only way the Jazz can really move up if they knock off the Warriors. But the Warriors is trying to secure that number 8 seed. And the only way for the Warriors to secure that number 8 seed is they win this game and the Kings and the Lakers both lose. Now, if the Warriors lose this game, they are locked into the number 10 spot, and they definitely will be in the playoffs. I mean, the play-in. Now, this is just why I'm saying this is crazy because the teams that are in the play-ins, nobody expected to be seeing that the Warriors or the Lakers in the play-in. You know what I'm saying? Let's be real. I didn't think the Warriors would be in the play-in. A lot of y'all had them winning the championship. That's a little side joke. Or they can go as low as the number 9 seed. If the Warriors get this game and either the Kings or Lakers was to lose, they can go to the number 9 seed, but they still will be in the play-in. Now let's talk about that Blazer and Kings game. And the Blazers not really playing for anything, but they can be upset some things. Now the Kings' only chance to reach the 8th seed is to win this game and for the Lakers to lose. If the Kings lose this game, they could fall to the number 9 seed in the play-in or even the number 10 seed, and also if the Warriors win. Like I said, this is going to be a crazy, crazy day. All 30 teams are playing. The Knicks are hoping for scenarios where the Cavs can win, but they really don't even need the Cavs to win. They just need the Bucks to lose and them to win, and they can secure that number 2 spot. And I wouldn't be mad if they was to lose and drop to the number 4 spot because, like I said, I want to stay out of Boston way until we get to the Eastern Conference Finals. That's just my opinion. Tell me what y'all think. Tell me who y'all think is going to win their games today and what impact is going to have. But with that being said, before I get out of here, don't forget to hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. But with that being said, I want everybody to stay safe, stay healthy, God bless, and peace.